Okay. Example of the orthopedic recovery module, I'm going to use knee rehabilitation. So I'm going to go into phase 4. As I mentioned previously, this activity, you start the activity and then it brings you through the different modules that you have to complete. Each module, the individual calibrates to the machine, and they are the avatar. So rather than having a physical therapist challenge them to complete an activity, what they have is a number of cues, which I'll illustrate in a moment, that they have to complete. So they're really challenging themselves. A study done with Vanderbilt University for ACL recovery determined that TRAZER group compared to the control group recovered faster and stronger from ACL because of the simulated technology and the need for the individual to complete the activity, challenging themselves rather than being told how to complete the activity. So we're going to start with the squat. So for this activity, I'm going to calibrate to the machine. Now while I'm doing this, it's locking on to 25 points in my body. It counts down to begin the activity. That yellow ring that you see right here, that's the squat ring. So if I go down and I don't go down far enough, the squat ring doesn't disappear. So what it does is it takes a measurement from the machine to my body, uses skeletal tracking, locks onto all different components of my form, and then it determines how far I have to go down. If I don't go, I have to go down the appropriate distance to complete the exercise and remove the cue from the screen, which in this case is the yellow squat ring. Now everybody has a different view in measurement. So if I have to squat down 8 inches, one person's observation of 8 inches may be different than another. So the only way you could realistically do it is by putting some type of measurement device on the individual's hip as they're squatting down. But in this case, you don't have to because you have the measurement of the body. So when it calibrates, it measures the distance from me to the camera, then an angular definition between my head and my feet, locks onto all 25 points of the body, and measures the deviation from L1 in the spine. As you notice, the next activity started automatically. It provides instructions on the screen, and then it provides a video illustration of how to properly complete the movement. So I recalibrate to the screen in this activity. So going forward for the lunge. So if I just go like that, right, I make the cue disappear, and then I have to go in different directions. Now you notice the cue didn't disappear that time, so I have to make the appropriate downward movement. So if I'm not completing the activity properly, then the cue doesn't disappear from the screen. In the drill settings, if you want to set this differently for an individual, if you want the down angle to be deeper, you can set the down angle deeper. If you want the distance that the individual goes out to go from 12 inches to 20 inches, you can set that, and you can set the protocol for the individual. This repeats throughout the entire activity, and then once completed, it provides an immediate report. So you can track the individual over time and determine if they're improving through the recovery phase, if they're degrading or remaining the same. If they're degrading, then obviously it's up to the healthcare provider to determine if the recovery protocol is appropriate, and if not, they can change the recovery protocol by simply going into the drills and setting the, adjusting the activity parameters.